During practice for the 1960 edition, both Michael Taylor and Sterling Moss suffered car failures while travelling at over 150 miles an hour. The track layout wouldn't change until 1970, but as the cars got faster and faster, Spa became increasingly dangerous. As a track made from public roads with trees and barriers all over the place, there was no room for error or failure. It was lined with ditches, trees and farmhouses as the cars raced through the forest. The likelihood of surviving a crash at Spa was becoming smaller and smaller.
My name's Ian Flood and I've been lucky enough to race at Spa from 1991 until 2009. I certainly wouldn't have wanted to race a 1960s Formula One car there.
While there were deaths during the 1950s, 1960 saw the track have its darkest and deadliest year. During practice for the 1960 edition, both Michael Taylor and Sterling Moss suffered car failures while travelling at over 150 miles an hour. Taylor was left paralysed when a steering column weld failed, sending him into the trees, while Moss broke both legs and his nose when his rear axle failed. But it was on Sunday when tragedy would strike. On lap 20, Chris Bristow touched wheels with another driver, sending him into the barriers, and he was killed instantly. The impact was so big it threw him from the car, and his body sat on the track for the rest of the race. Not 5 laps later, in a freak accident not far from where Bristow died, Alan Stacey was hit in the head by a bird. He lost control of the car and flew into the trees at 140 miles an hour. The car unfortunately exploded, killing Stacey instantly. Despite the obvious dangers and the campaigning from the drivers, safety rails were only installed 3 years later in 1963. But this did little to stop tragedy from happening. 8 other drivers would die driving around Spa in the 1960s alone, and one of them was nearly Sir Jackie Stewart. He crashed his BRM at the Master Corner travelling at over 140 miles an hour, and he found himself upside down in a farmhouse next to the track, with broken ribs and fuel pouring from the car that he was trapped in. He was helped from the car without further damage, but Stu wouldn't take any more chances and always carried a spanner. This crash would prove to be the beginning of the end for the old Spa layout, as Jackie Stewart led the Grand Prix Drivers Association and demanded changes were made to drastically improve safety.